Hey, Danish tubers, and welcome back to a news reading on DanishTube. Hey, we're going to take a look at what's been going on with Trump, and I've basically my chair is making a lot of noise. Sorry about that. I've put together a few different articles into one document because I haven't been able to keep up with what's going on. But I'm also we're going to quickly learn some new words, learn a bit about what's been going on in Danish, but also I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do when you're reading news articles or when you're learning Danish, right? So you need to have, for example, you could copy your news article into a document like I have in Google Docs, and this is great because now you can make notes, you can make comments. For example, I don't know what this word means. Attentate for Sue. The hell is that? Attentate for Sue. So you also need to have open, for example, Google Translate. Depends on your level, right? But you can now go over to Google Translate, and that will tell you something like assassination attempt, which I apparently cannot spell in my own language. Oh well. But gradually, as you get to a higher level, I want you to start using the online dictionary, which is ornet.dk. I'll put a link in the description, or just look for the online Danish dictionary, Den Danske Ordbog. I hope that you're already using it. You should know what it is. Anyway, they're your three tools. On DR, for example, I've taken this article from DR, Danmarks Radio, and they also do have a function where you can click a word and it will read the word for you, which is also great because the important thing when you're reading is you also need to hear. So it can be quite a long task, but you can squeeze a lot out of little articles, right? Because firstly, I can read it and see how much I understand. Let's take this first part. Trump i interview efter attentatforsøg. Virkeligheden netop ved at gå op for mig. Yeah, reality is just about to hit. Virkeligheden, which is of course reality. I et skriftligt interview fortæller Trump, hvorfor han knyttede næven på scenen, og hvad vi kan forvente af hans kommende tale. So your first mission could be, I want to get a general understanding of what is going on. You don't need to understand every small detail, right? So in a written interview about that much, Trump's talking about why he raised his fist. He had this like clenched fist on the stage. And he also is talking about what we can expect from his upcoming speech. Of course, I can understand most of this, but there's probably going to be something in here where I have a hard time translating it, for example. And that's what I want to highlight, is it's not always important to be able to translate directly into your own language or into English or whatever it is, as long as you get what's going on. But you have an opportunity to learn new words, of course. So, den 20-årige udpegede gerningsmand skød og strejfede den øvre del af Trumps højre øre, inden ekspræsidenten med et blodigt ansigt og en knyttet næve blev eskorteret væk af Secret Service agenter. So the 20-year-old gunman, he shot and he grazed the upper part of Trump's right ear before the former president, with a bloodied face and a clenched fist, was escorted away by Secret Service agents. So yeah, that was pretty easy for me to translate. I'm pretty happy with that. If there was something like, let's say, strejfel, I don't know what strejfel means. I could, of course, copy it, go straight over to Google, make a little note in here, put in brackets what it means. I always tend to, in my classes, for example, highlight in yellow when a student doesn't know it's a new word. Or, for example, when it's pronunciation, you could, in your own mind, have two colors, right? I want to check the meaning of this word, and I also don't really know how to say, let's say, escorteret, and for pronunciation, I'm going to use green. So again, I'm going to take that over to Google, or maybe even better, the Danish dictionary, if you didn't see before. Let me just share with you the Danish dictionary, and you have the option to hear words pronounced. Now, this word, escorteret, is from a verb, escortere. So you might not get the exact word escorteret with the T, but we have the verb here, as you can see, and there's an option to listen to it.
Eskortere.
You can hear it, but if you can, great. So, okay, now I know how to say that word. And if you didn't know, the Danish dictionary here should be your best friend. It tells you here if it's the verb, if it's the noun. And here under binding, it tells you how to write the present tense, eskortere, eskorteret, past tense, or eskorteret with a T. Før nutid, før datil. There we go. Present perfect, past perfect. Okay, we're already squeezing a lot out of this article. I didn't even read anything yet. God damn. Let's get moving. We don't got all day, man. Although I'm not kind of in a rush. Anyway, let's read a bit more. I interviewet bemærker Trump, hvordan han blev reddet fra døden, fordi han vendte sig væk fra mængden for at kigge på en skærm, der viste data, som han brugte i sin tale. I'm actually tempted to say we need to delete this comma, but now I'm being really nerdy. I'm pretty sure that when you write for at kigge, you don't need to put comma in front of it. And you get bonus points on DR, Danmarks Radio, and I'm not trying to, I love the sign and I love all the writers there, but I often do see mistakes, and it's probably because they have to work so fast getting out news. So, double points, share with me if you've seen the mistakes. So in an interview, Trump, he sensed how he was saved from death, because he turned away from the public, I guess, to look at the screen, that was showing data that he was using in his speech. Den virkelighed netop ved at gå op for mig, siger Trump til Washington Examiner. Ifølge Trump var det Gud selv, der reddede hans liv. It was God himself who saved his life. Nice. Jeg kigger sjældent væk fra mængden. Havde jeg ikke gjort det i det øjeblik, ja, så ville vi ikke tale sammen i dag. Ville vi. It's funny to imagine Trump speaking Danish. I'm not going to try to do a Trump accent, but I rarely, look away from the public, the audience, the crowd. And hadn't I done that in that moment, yeah, then we wouldn't be able to speak today, would we? Ville vi. Donald Trump har givet interviewet til mediet ombord på sit fly med kurs mod Milwaukee. He's given the interview to the media on his plane. I just need to go back over to Google Meet and make sure it doesn't stop on us. For i dag begynder det republikanske partis nationale konvent, hvor Trump forventes at blive valgt som partiets præsidentkandidat. So then those are a lot of hard words. So this might be a good opportunity, right, for you to check some pronunciation here. Republikanske partis national konvent. I guess another thing you could do when you're reading this, and what I do in my classes, right? When we're reading class, we're focusing on pronunciation. Like I said, you need to hear. It's really important that you hear the words and not only read them, because you might start reading this word, like bored, but it has a silent D, bore. And it's important that you know that, because when you go into the real world and you're saying bored, I'm saying bored. Why don't you understand me? You mean bore? Yeah, bored. No, bore. So normal, right? So you could, if you wanted, take piece by piece. Again, first try to understand as much as you can. Then maybe go for this Google. And again, if you're on DR, you have the option to do it anyway. But you could listen to it read by Google. Of course, it's not ideal. It's not the best, but, well, it's something. Let's continue. Her skal han holde en tale, der i forvejen blev ventet spændt på, men som nu kommer til at få en helt anden betydning. Og ifølge Trump bliver det en markant anderledes tale, end den han egentlig havde planlagt. Yeah, so he's going to hold a speech, which before, I'm having a hard time translating, you see. So it was highly anticipated, let's say, something like that. It was already i forvejen highly anticipated, but now it's going to take on an entirely different meaning. And according to Trump, it's going to be quite a different speech in markant anderledes tale in den han havde planlagt, than the one he had planned. Yeah, okay, nice. And that speech is actually today. Det bliver i dag, faktisk. Jeg tror måske snart. Jeg er ikke sikker, hvad tid det er. Jeg har ikke tjekket endnu. Men den tale, jeg skulle holde torsdag, ville have været opsigtsvækkende. Var dette ikke sket, så ville den have været en af de mest utrolige taler, siger Trump til Washington Examiner, og tilføjer, at talen primært var rettet mod Joe Bidens politik. Ærligt talt bliver det en helt anden tale nu. Nice. So this was pretty straightforward. This is a really nice word. I might want to check translation. I might want to check how the hell do I say that word? I'm going to go over to Google now and see, what does Google say this word means? Opzichtwekkende, sensational, startling, attention grabbing. Cool thing about Google is also when you click on the word, you get a few different translations. Don't always trust the first translation you get, and always try to think of how would you actually say this in your language or in English, all right? So the speech I was going to have on Thursday, I was going to give on Thursday was going to be sensational. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Den knyttede næve, the clenched fist. Billedet af en blodig Donald Trump, der knytter næven, mens han bliver eskorteret af scenen, er allerede blevet delt og set i hele verden. Sorry, can't breathe. I hele verden. So this picture of him clenching his fist and being escorted off the stage, it's already been seen all over the world. Now I'm drawing on the screen. I don't even know how I'm doing that. No problem. Jeg vidste, at historien ville dømme dette, og jeg vidste, at jeg måtte lade den ved, at vi har det godt. Okay. So he was doing it to show the world that he was fine, because, you know, history was, what did he say? History was going to judge this. I'm not sure exactly what he means by that, to be honest. Do you know what that means? Leave a comment in the comment section if you know what that means. History is going to judge this. Maybe I'll listen back, I'll understand it better. Trump siger selv, at han gjorde det for at vise de vælgere, der var til stede, at han var okay. Yeah, he did it to show the people that were there that he was doing fine. Og at USA fortsætter, vi går fremad, vi er stærkere, we continue. Oh, I put something up here. We move forward, and we're strong. Nice. Fortsætter, fremad, stærkere. Another thing that often comes up when I do reading exercises is endings of words, right? You can start to highlight all the common endings, and two here that are very common is ER and ERE. Knytter, bliver. Let's see, are there any more? Siger. Fortsætter. See, there's a lot. And vælger, ERE is also another one. We see the same sound, but just longer. You have and R. This came up today in class, and generally does most days. So pay attention to common endings. ET endings, another one. You can practice by going through and marking all of the ET endings and pronouncing them. So here we have billede, blevet, eskorteret. Oops, eskorteret. Hvad mere? What else? I can't say anymore. That's fine. Let me just check meat hasn't died on me. Are you still here, meat? Yes, you are. Her er, hvad vi ved om manden, der skød mod Trump. This is what we know about the man who shot Trump, shot towards Trump, shot at him. There we go. Det er sparsomt med informationer om 20-årige Thomas Matthew Crooks, der FBI er udpeget som gerningsmanden bag et attentatforsøg mod Trump. Okay, so at this point in time, it's sparsom. What we know, the information, don't know much about this perpetrator, gerningsmanden, who attempted to assassinate Trump. And here he is, et flot billede af ham i skolen. Helt vildt. Han var bare en dreng. Og jeg ved ikke, altså der er ingen, der taler, sorry min stol, der er ingen, der taler om, hvor ung han var, og nu er han død. Right? I haven't anyone talking about this guy, and I know that he's must have been a bit mental or whatever, but now he's dead. And that's also sad, right? He had a family. Han havde en familie. Så det er hårdt. Nå, lad os fortsætte. Indtil videre er det meget sparsomt, hvad vi ved om Crooks. Han blev dræbt på stedet af Trumps livvagter fra Secret Service. Og her til aften har FBI ifølge Reuters, jeg tror det hedder Reuters, bekræftet, at våbnet var en semi-automatisk rifle af typen AR 556, som de mener var købt lovligt af Crooks far. There's a lot of tricky words in here. Here's another example of the ending I was mentioning earlier. Dræbt på stedet. ET ending, but here I'll pronounce the T. Stillet. I'll say stillet. Secret Service after. There was a few words here. It's kind of like close to English, and often this is something that's kind of tricky. When there's a word that's so close to English that it's like your English takes over and fools you. So that's where it's worth also checking. I'm actually going to do it, but I think I put in some headphones. So let me just do that 1 second. And let me listen to this word. Let me see. Rifle. Rifle. Det er ikke et ord, som jeg bruger særligt meget. Det her, this word, rifle. So I want to check it. Semi-automatic. Yeah, that seems just like, I would just say it in a kind of English way, right? Let me see what the Danish dictionary says to me. Semi. Okay, so it is, you put a more of a Danish accent on here. Semi-automatisk. Sådan, så fik jeg også lært noget. Det var godt. I also got to learn something. We go. Google Meet is asking me, am I still here? Yeah, I'm still here, Google Meet. Don't go anywhere. Nå, Thomas Matthew Crooks boede i Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, cirka en times kørsel fra Butler, hvor skyderiet fandt sted. He lived in Pennsylvania around an hour from where the shooting took place. Han blev student fra den lokale high school, Bethel Park High School, i 2022, og modtog et legat på $500 fra organisationen National Math og Science Initiative. This word, et legat. Jeg ved ikke, hvad det er. Jeg aner det ikke. I think it's when he's donated. Yeah, what would be the word for that? Maybe an endorsement. So you can see here, I'm going to go over to the Danish dictionary. I'm going to put this in, legat, and see what the dictionary tells me about that. I'm going to say, you know what? I'll share my screen with you so you can also see what I'm doing here. Boom. I've been playing Coldplay today. I have that song in my head. Here we go. Legate. Binding tells me it's legate. In plural flertal, legater and legaterne. Det er et beløb, som udgøres af renter af en bortskænket sum, og som efter ansøgning gives til en person, der opfylder visse betingelser. Yeah, so it's like a donation, right? And an endowment. Maybe that might be the word. Yeah. Let's go back to our document. Vores document. There's another good example of an English-Danish word, right? Document versus document. At the end, often Danish words that look very much like English, they have the intonation actually at the end of the word, like music and musik. Nå. So, where was I? De amerikanske medier, CNN, har været i kontakt med hans far, som ikke ønsker at udtale sig på nuværende tidspunkt. Dad doesn't wish to say anything at this point in time, på nuværende tidspunkt. And lastly, I've pinned people at the convention have all started wearing this, øredille, som de kalder det. New øredille, there's not an øredille, what is øredille? I guess that's like the word for a craze. New øredille præger det republikanske konvent efter Trump attentat. So a new ear craze is characterizing the convention after this assassination attempt. Republikanerne med Donald Trump i spidsen har i årevis iklædt sig politisk hovedbeklædning, men på årets konvent er det noget andet, der springer i øjnene. Okay, so they've always had something sort of on their head, but now it is, well, something quite special that is catching everybody's eyes. Yeah, they've always been wearing political headgears. Okay, yeah, I didn't think about that. Makes sense. En noget særpræget dille spreder sig til republikanernes konvent i Milwaukee, i den amerikanske delstat Wisconsin. Deltagerne i det republikanske partis store politiske møde er nemlig begyndt at lægge forbinding på deres højre øre. Have you seen this? Det er helt vildt. So a somewhat distinctive craze has been spreading across the convention in Milwaukee, in the U.S. state of Wisconsin. The participants deltagerne in the Republican Party's big political meeting have started to bandage their right ear. Det er begyndt at lægge forbinding på deres højre øre. På den måde imiterer de partiets spydspids, Donald Trump, der natten til søndag dansk tid blev udsat for et attentat, hvor hans øre blev ramt af et skud. I nat dansk tid forventes Donald Trump selv at tale til konventet. I think there was a mistake, because here it says i nat dansk tid, but it doesn't say what time. Tonight Danish time. What is Danish time? Anyone know what Danish time is? Maybe there's a specific time that's the Danish that I didn't know. You know, like, what is it? The time for smoking pot or whatever. Which I don't know what time that is. Anyway, they're saying here that they've been imitating the party's spearhead, Sunday, who on Sunday, Danish time. Again, this is Danish time. What the hell? They're not saying anything about time. Maybe I missed something in the document. Anyway, he was exposed through this assassination attempt where his ear got hit by a shot. So tonight he's going to make the speech at the convention. So again, I've managed to translate this pretty well. But it's important to decide. And I think that you could do a really nice exercise where you first read for the general gist. What is the general gist of this? Read the entire thing. And then maybe you could copy it all, go over to Google, put it in there, and listen to it back. So now you also have a good idea of how to say all these words. Maybe take a break, come back a bit later, next day, whenever, and I'll try to dissect it a bit. So you could firstly focus on pronunciation. Go through it, as I said, choose yourself a color, and go through, mark all the words that you like. How the hell do I say that? Upile. Maybe you're reading this like udpeget. I don't know. Gerningsmen. Hedder det. You get my point, right? Go through it word by word, because maybe a lot of it you can pronounce, and some of it you can't. So focus on the ones that you can't, and also take note and watch out for repetitions, things that always seem to be difficult for you to pronounce. So is it the Danish R? It's very likely. Rillet, fra. Whoops, I pasted something in. And start making notes of all the words that also sound similar. Hvad kunne det være? Har jeg nogle eksempler her? Lad mig lige se. I can't really think of any examples. See any examples here. But bor was a good example. Maybe there's some other words ending in R and D, or a different consonant and a D, right? In any case, start picking out the words that are difficult for you or that you don't know how to pronounce, and check them, because the only way you're going to be able to pronounce them correctly is if you actually check them. When you've done that, come back and now put your focus on understanding. If you want, go into more detail. Now start picking out all the words, not just the general gist. And lastly, the most important thing is that it's something that you find interesting. So if you're thinking like, why the hell am I watching this about Donald Trump? I don't care about this shit. Go ahead and find something that does interest you, because then you're already gonna want to read it. You're already gonna maybe find it easy to translate some of it, and it'll be much more fun to you. So that was this week's sort of DanishTube news reading. Jeg håber, du kunne lide det. Tak fordi du lyttede med, og læg en kommentar. Drop a comment if you like this, if you want to see more stuff like this, if you have any articles that you want me to read and go through, leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, vi ses næste gang. Hej hej.